Hello everybody and welcome back to Mr. Bravo's workshop. This is my take two of the beginning of this. I spent 10 minutes already starting this build and I stopped to clean the lens, which I'll show you, and I thought I better double check and see how it's all going, and none of it was there. So I'm going to do my best to replicate the very beginning of the ship one more time. Here we go. Well, there we have the instructions, the Belfast, the printing and marking guide of the Belfast. We have the floor of the Belfast here, right there. And we have the box of the Belfast. Let's put that there like that. So let's get into another build. Let's unbox this first. There is the hull. Let's get it out of the box and get it on the bench and let's get stuck into it. Okay, there we are back on the bench. Now, unfortunately, as I just explained, I had already cut most of this stuff off, which is the outside of the sprue that was actually holding the hull. Didn't really talk too much about the hull, and we did take off the bulkheads and put them in the correct order, and we cleaned them up. And unfortunately, there was no video of that. I don't know what happened because I did stop and start several times. So all I can think of is just lucky we caught it now and didn't get too much further. So let's move that out the way. So we, like I just explained, we'd pretty much taken all these off. They're in their actual order now, the way they came off the instructions, and I'll get the instruction and just show you. So here we are on page 4, and we've got all the bulkheads off. Bulkheads 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's no 10, 11, and 12. It could be a ship reason why there's no 10. I don't know. Anyway, so that's it there, and we've got them all cleaned off, and I'm just trying to catch up now. Unfortunately, like I said, we did lose something. I had also stated that since the last ship, I'd pretty much packed all this stuff away just while I was doing other bits and pieces. And I'm sure you know what I mean when I say organised chaos, because I knew exactly where everything was, and at the moment I don't. So as I need everything, I'm pretty much just going to hunt it down and try and get reorganised again back into chaos. So let's get these little nubs off. We'll do a couple of these online. I don't want to dig too deep. That one went flying off. And I was saying this before, that even when I was cutting, man, they're flying off. When I was cutting all the bits and pieces off those, they were flying everywhere. And these are too. I'm not too worried about it because if you've watched any of my videos, you would have seen the video of the vacuum cleaner. That vacuum cleaner works every day here and does a rather excellent job of cleaning up. Let's do it for a hat trick. Yeah, not quite. So there we are, getting it all cleaned up. And I'm leaving just a smidge off, like, off the actual plastics itself. Because I'd rather just clean a little bit than try and chop too much, if you know what I mean. I mean, I am cutting close, but not that close. So let's get these one. I'll do this one here, and then I'll come back on the other side. That one goes flying too. And that one too. There we go. Just noticed this just after I cleaned it off. It's got these, I'm going to call them nubs, that I really don't believe that should be there. And that's an unusual one to have them like that. As you can see, I've cut them off level with the ship. Cut them off level, but I'm left with these nubs. And I'm pretty sure I'm going to take them off as well, because if I grab the other half, roughly here, it doesn't make any sense why they're there. And even these ones here, they got to come off too. So we're going to have to get them off. I think what we might do, I'm just double checking. I am double checking the mic because I have a brand new mic on. So in the past, I have like a shirt mic on, and I've never had that before. I think that'll work for just taking those nubs off. We'll just take them off roughly like that. And then, yeah, I think that'll work nicely. And then clean them up with a bit of 200 or something. I mean, obviously we're going to rework the hull of this ship, so yeah, that's pretty good, and that's on the inside. The outside's pretty good, just like that. I'm pretty happy with that piece. So let's do that on the other piece, and then come back. Actually, let's just not come back. Let's just do it together. Let's just set myself up here like that. And again, I'm going to cut along the lines of the hull. Not worry about those pieces flying off. I just don't want to cut into the actual hull itself. I was pretty happy with the way that last piece, like the last one, came up. So if you're happy with that, just do the same. Yeah, that's it. Now we'll turn that around. Let's go, because I don't have to be as accurate then. Well, not as accurate on the ship, but trying to keep it in the screen. So yeah, I want to have a shout out to Oleg while I'm here, because I did say this on the 10 minutes beforehand, and that's what confused me, because it actually did say there was 10 minutes of recording already on there. So Oleg is the one that sort of pointed me in the direction of this ship. I do believe he has it himself, and was struggling a little bit to actually build it. So I'm sure he'll be watching along and probably pretty keen to replicate what I'm doing. So there we got those chunks off. Let's get the other side off here as well. Those big nubs. Nothing too spectacular there. 1, 2. There should be another 2 down here. And I think I pretty much said everything that I said on the previous video of the previous start. So there we have it. So let's get the 200 out and get it cleaned up. And I'm just going to quickly move some of these big chunks out the way as well, just so they're kind of out the way. Okay, very good. Alrighty. Now let's get the 200 out. We got to clean the inside of this, because we want to put the hull up against each other, and we don't need those sort of nubs getting in the way there. So I'm just going to clean one up and show you how I cleaned it, and then I'll come back. It's very thin here at the end too, so you don't want to be going crazy with this. You want to keep everything in here, and of course just taking that off, just so when they squeeze together there's nothing really stopping it, which is pretty much all that I'm after. And obviously we can do a little bit on the top there where it was, and we'll continue with the rest of them. And there's the second one done there, and we'll move on to the third one. There's the third one there. We'll clean it up, and there it is, gone and all cleaned. And one more down the end down here, right about there. Let's get that one too. So that one is now all nice and clean. If I run the back of the knife, you'll hear that it just I know there's a mark there, but there's no lump. There's nothing there. But what I am feeling is on the top edge, from where it was connected the other side, it's a little rough in almost exactly the same spot. So we'll take those off as well, and I'll come back. And basically all I'm really doing is just sort of just across the line there, a couple of faces, just so that when I run my hand across, like if I do that here, you'll hear it gets stuck right there. So we just want to take that off very quickly. Nothing too crazy wild. We are using 200, so be a little careful. And yeah, there's no line in here. Let's go across to the other edge and just very carefully clean that one up too. And there is something on the very end of the nose there. I don't want to take that off. And there's a little one left here, just here. Gone? Not quite. Again, I'm only very lightly touching it with the 200. We are going to be doing more sanding in this, but it's got a lot of detail in here, and I don't want to lose too much detail either. Probably not as much detail as the HMS Queen Elizabeth had. There's another bit just there. Well, let's get rid of that. So now that's very nice on that edge all the way through. Nothing really on the fingers. That was where that last piece was. Yeah, just all the way through, and this one's ready to go. So what we'll do the same on the other one. Just while I'm cleaning this up and going through and taking these rough edges off, you guys all know I've had a lot of trouble with the house that I'm building, and it was supposed to be finished at Christmas time, and it's technically not even at lockup, but I've had some good news. So even though lots of stuff got stolen out of it, all the electrical and all the plumbing and all the insulation and everything else, plaster went up today, so covering all the new stuff that was put back in it, and hopefully we'll just clean this one on the same edge as the last one, which was just like that. And hopefully it should all run a fair bit smoother from here on inwards. And it's been quite a battle to get to the house to this stage at the moment. So I'll just finish quickly cleaning this up and come. So there I have my second piece done as well. Like I said, I am still kind of trying to find my way here. It just feels kind of like a little bit crowded. I don't know what needs to move here. Maybe I need to clean up. Hang on. We've got some dust there too from all that sanding. Let's quickly just remove some of that, clean up the workbench a little bit. Yeah, I know. I get in trouble for that. Okay, so let's see how they both join up together. Let's have a look here. Let's do this in real time. Let's grab those two pieces. They do have a couple of little locating lugs. Put on there and kind of see how it looks. Let's do this on the bench maybe. Hard to sort of do it on the camera. What do I think the fit is? It's a bit difficult. Not bad. It's probably no different to what the other one was. So I think what we'll do is we'll start off, we'll put the bulkheads on one side, which is what I did in the last one. But on the last one, you guys didn't see me put this together. So let me get the instructions out. Yeah, I believe the order that I have these in, just here, is the correct order from the rear of the ship to the front in that order. And I think what we'll do is we'll put them on one side, and there's the instructions there to show you. So what we'll do is do one side, we'll glue it up, and then pretty much put the other side together. See, I'm a little out of sync. I just think I was pressing record then. Now, I've come back in, and I'm going to have to double check that because this one kept wanting to pop out. So I just wanted to put that one in and put him home. See, he still wants to pop out. See that? So we're going to have to put some pressure on him while he goes off. And I think while I do that, I'm just going to double check the video because I don't know why I didn't record before. Yeah, see, that's not staying in. And I need to double check that it's actually still. Okay, I just went away for about 10 minutes double checking. I have to come back and re-glue this one here. Now, here's what happened. So before, when I put this one on and this one on, I thought I did it on camera. And I am, like I did say, I'm a little out of sorts. I'm not sure whether it's me doing it or there's something going on with the camera because I could have sworn I had this on record when I did this. And there is a clip where I thought the camera was off when I was putting this one on, and then it seemed like it was on. Now, I'm looking at the camera right now, and I do know it's on, so you didn't really get to see any of those properly, so we'll do one more on the camera, which is basically I just put a fair bit in these holes here, come across, put this one in, and it did seem to be a little easy if I put the top one in first. That's okay. Now, the second last one I just did, each one of them kept popping out. I ended up re-gluing the base a bit to help hold it, and it did. It held it nicely. I'll put a little bit more on the top of those to join it up. There, I'm not too worried about the hull itself at the moment. I just want these in, just in case I need some movement on the hull with this in or out. So that's all I'm really after. So we'll put the next three on. Now, while I was away double checking the video that it was still there, I did kind of notice that I think the shirt mic takes a second or two to catch up. And I quite often pause and stop and pause and stop, and I'm not sure whether that's struggling as well. So they're all in, and I think what we'll do is just let them go off for 10 minutes, just sort of let them dry off, and then we can put the other half together and see how we go. So I'll come back in about 10 minutes. Okay. And what good would a video be without the coffee? Got a brand new cup. This is all glass, and it's kind of insulated. So hot drink or cold drink on the inside and not hot on the outside. Beautiful. Okay, it's probably been long enough. Let's see how they go. They're pretty tight. Let's see how well it kind of goes together. I'm not using any glue at the moment. I just want to see what the kind of fit is like. And we may have to, put some tension on this. We may not. Let's see if we can get those in. It's a little difficult. Here we go. Let's get the M1 in first. Yeah, it's not bad. Get that one in. Yeah, let's get that one in. You can hear them snapping in there. That's nice. Let's push that one down and that one in as well. Come on, fella. In you go. Oh, bit tight, that one. Oh, yeah. And you can see it's kind of taken shape. This is practically what I did with the last one as well, which is just kind of working it a little bit and putting it together. Don't want to put any glue on it until it's actually together. There we go. That one's now in. Let's work a little bit more towards the front here. Let's put the bottom in and then the top. In you go. Having a little bit of trouble with that one. Let's go. There we go. He's in now. Bottom. Just the last little corner down here. Put the bottom in. Let's put him in. Bottom's now in. Oh God. There we go. And snap. It's basically together, but it needs a little more work on each one. So now that it is together, let's just kind of squash that in. Yeah, that's pretty good. I'm not, like I said, I'm not worried about the hull. I'm just worried about the bulkheads right now. Getting them in, and we kind of get our first look at the length of the ship and the hull kind of together. So let's put the other side and start to glue that up as well. Let's do this in real time just so we can see what we're actually doing here. So we're not putting it inside the holes, obviously. So we want to put it across the join and make sure that it wicks around. Like I said, I'm not worried about the hull. I'll come back to the hull and just make sure they're nicely tight together. And if need be, I'll just hold them. That one worked out pretty good. Let's move on to the next one. Yeah, wicked around. Not really caring about how much cement it takes. And again, yeah, pushing that one in nice and tight. That's pretty good. And I don't want to sort of push it too much where it warps the hull either. So let's keep moving on. There. And there. Yeah, that's nice. That one's nicely together. Yep, that's pretty good. And it's nice. It's a nice seal there in the middle. It could be a little more. Obviously, if I push it together, it probably goes a little more. I do feel it's slightly weaker plastic. That's kind of a little worried about that. Let's wick that one in there too. I'll finish these last couple and I'll come back. I just noticed it. See if I can zoom in on that and see if I can get it. Yeah. I did think this plastic was a little weaker, and it did. It split it, just as that was not there a second ago. So what we're going to do is just going to fill that with some cement, and hopefully it just takes it up. I did do this. I did crack one of these on the Queen Elizabeth, We do have a split over here as well, but it's very, very minor. Like I said, it's on the inside of the ship, so it doesn't overly matter anyway. But I did feel like this plastic was a little fragile. So for the rest of the build, did you hear that crack then? I don't know what happened just then. Hopefully, we'll just have to be a little more careful as we go along. Let's put the last two together. I think that there was the last two that was just cracking in. Let's do them both together. You're on there? Yeah, you are. Sorry about that. I'm a little rusty putting stuff in front of the camera. Let's do that one while we're at it. And down there on the both sides. And keeping the front kind of nicely together without too much force. Yeah, that's not bad. Yeah, I think this ship could... It's definitely more fragile. Just got to take a little more care with it. You can hear it creaking, moaning. I think that could be the front that's slightly moaning and groaning there. What are you doing there? It's like... Yeah, that's it. Yeah, the front was kind of slightly going out of whack. Sorry about that. I did it again. Basically, what it was doing was jumping out like that. And we just got to put it together. It's a really nice fit though. Can I just say? Let me see if I can focus a bit more there. Yeah. And obviously, put that together. Might even pay that while we've got that like that and it looks so nice in there. Let's put some cement in there as well. Just to hold that nose together. We'll give it a minute and come back. I kind of flooded that nose in there a little bit and you can sort of see it glistening. Is that light on? Yeah, it is on. I noticed when I was watching the playback before, it looked like there was a light off, and I think I have to still adjust this one just a little bit. So it's still glistening in the front there. It's a good fit at the nose, considering how thin the material is. Just struggling a little bit there with the focus. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Okay, let's move on to the back while we're here. The back looks like it's a good joint, even on the outside. So let's do the same there. Let's kind of flood that a little bit, and we'll flood it downwards because it looks like there is a rudder mark in there somewhere. And again, just want to keep the ends nice and closed off and let it sort of, set off. It's a good fit. Probably wick through there just a little bit. We'll get that. I'm not going to do the center just yet. I just want to really concentrate on the two ends, just to get them off nice and set up. The bulkheads are doing the bulk of their job, holding it together. Yeah, and I think what we might do, I nearly knocked the coffee off the bench then. Jesus, that was terrible. So while I finish my coffee, let's let that be for a minute and set off. And we almost have the first part of the ship done. That's going to be a good size ship, this one, and it should go nicely with the HMS Queen Elizabeth. Well, I got to tell you, they are neck and neck for length. I'm going to say that the Queen Elizabeth is definitely wider and probably not much longer. They're almost neck and neck, these ships, just the angle of the video. So yeah, it's going to be a nice ship when they're both together. So we'll just put that other one away. Just thought I'd bring it out just for reference. I was just drinking my coffee while I'm waiting for this to dry, and I kind of noticed these nubs here. This is going to make sanding rather difficult with these here, and they are on both sides, so we're going to have to be a little bit careful of those, and clearly they've got to be there for a reason. But overall, fairly happy with the hull so far. I mean, that's a good join. I don't care what anyone says. A little bit of work on that, and yeah, it's going to be a nice ship. It's a skinny little ship though, so it is 1942, I believe. So now that this is probably the bulkhead and the ends are all done, let's put a little bit of glue on the inside. And yeah, let's see what we do here. Let's just kind of wick it through there. Let's not be too stingy with the glue either. And we'll do kind of each bulkhead set as we go. Like I said, it doesn't really have any leaks here. Like it's put together rather well. It does have a pretty defined lip, which I'm sure we can sand off later. We can work that out. It might even pay to put some actual Tamiya cement on this one, like the normal stuff. But let's just go with this. I am happy with the join, so let's just kind of wick that through on there. Let's wick that through on there as well. All the way through. Let's do half of there. And let's do across those bulkheads through the middle. Absolutely. Even that one there, it sort of stops them from separating later on. And the other side, I'll just do that quickly off the camera. Just through there, wicking it in. Yeah. Through there. And obviously the bottom of the bulkhead across the two halves. The next one, sort of through there. And through there. Oh yeah, it's got plenty of glue there, no worries about that. Yeah, that's a nice job. Just got to be a little careful there. It looks like there's definitely a rudder hole in there, so I don't want to block that up with any glue. Obviously, if you're not happy with it, just go back over it again. And yeah, I mean, it is pretty important. The last thing it was a failure because of the hole. And it's wicking in very, very nicely now. And I am pretty happy with that. So now when I put this down and I come back to it for the next episode, it should be nice. So yeah, let's just continue finishing that off through there. Very hard to get down through here. See if we can get it. And I think what we have here is our hull kind of together. Let's look at it closely. Can we get that on the camera? Yeah, you can see what I mean there. It's got some work that needs to be done underneath, but we can't do any of that work until after it's well and truly dried. So I think we're going to call it here for this episode, for the start of the Belfast. I hope you enjoyed this episode, just like I'm going to enjoy building it and with the rest of them. And hopefully I'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.